Today we've got nice fireside chats.
And a Jeopardy bloodbath. All Systems Go starts right now.
Greetings and welcome back to another episode of ASG, the only show that lies for charity. I'm Saintly Sammy.
And I'm Wishy-Washy Wyatt. Let's get started. To start off today, we have big news from Nintendo. In a post on their website, Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa will never release another Tomodachi Life game for any other consoles. He stated that the fans begging for Tomodachi Life got too annoying, so they ceased all development on the game's successor, Tokidachi Life. Tokidachi Life was a subversion of the original game's focus, friendship, to instead focus on enemies. ASG reached out for comment, but Nintendo told us we were too small an organization to talk to.
Last night, Iraqi Shadow dropped some retcons for Stone Ocean, also known as Part 6. Ermi's Stan was actually supposed to be a JYP, a K-pop idol from the 90s, as he recently fell down the K-pop rabbit hole. Among other things, he changed his Twitter name to be Iraqi Appa and changed his profile photo to a picture of Taehyun of BTS. Though many JoJo fans are unhappy, the K-pop community was surprisingly accepting and didn't dox him, though that may change if he gets deeper in and claims allegiance with BTS Army.
My name is Wyatt Simon. I need everybody to know that I'm not reading a teleprompter, and I'm speaking entirely from my mind. I believe that Full Metal Alchemist 2003 is bad, and I deeply regret Everwise declaring otherwise. I'm totally okay with literally no one recognizing my Halloween costume because I love being disappointed. I believe sketch comedy to be a lower form of comedy and is definitely not art. Lastly, I believe Leon Kennedy is extremely overrated, and I hate every single Resident Evil game that he has appeared in, especially 4. I would like to restate that these are my genuine beliefs, and if I ever deny these claims, you need to know that I am lying.
A recent report has just been released giving us unfortunate confirmation that Mayor Lewis of Pelican Town, located in Stardew Valley, has been found dead in downtown LA. The 56-year-old bureaucrat was found in the ditch of a country road. His body was located not far from his crashed Lamborghini. Evidence suggests that Lewis may have been performing donuts when he lost control of his vehicle and was thrown through his windshield. The autopsy reports he died directly on impact. The autopsy also reports traces of cocaine and alcohol found in Lewis's system at the time of his death, as well as numerous contraband substances found in the back seat of his car. Lewis is survived by nobody. He had no kids, a rocky divorce, and numerous smaller affairs with unknown women.
I am terrified of fish.
Glub, glub, glub.
They live in the walls.
Glub, glub, glub.
Don't buy the fish breathe water lie that the big fish is trying to sell to you.
Glub, glub, glub.
It does not matter if it's fresh water or not. Those things are not real.
Glub, glub, glub.
How do the sea fish even see with those eyes?
Glub, glub, glub.
After the War of Salmon in 2007, I've never been the same. Please stay safe out there.
After the recent failure of Joker Fully I Do, Todd Phillips, the director, stated his intent to continue the series. He said his next big project will be Joker Men Age a Trois, apparently the only French phrase with the word 3 in it. In the same interview, he also said that he doesn't respect the French and refuses to learn what the phrase means. Because of the failure, he seemed nervous for the future funding of the project, only to later be met with support on Twitter by Elon Musk.
Last week, game developers Teeny Tiny released the trailer for their game Wimble Crimble Stumble Bimble. Wimble Crimble Stumble Bumble features the Wimble Crimble of the town Bimble Stimble on his quest to find the mighty Stumble Bumble of the Bimble Stimble fame. Wimble Crimble we'll be joined with characters Yimble Dimble, Rimble Zimble, and Sinble Pinble. Crimble Dimble, Crimble Dimble, Zimble, and Bimble seek the Stumble Bumble in order to destroy Kinble Gwimble, god of Jingle Jangle, the word in which Wimble Bimble Stumble Bumble takes place in. Ultimately, I believe the game looks great. I personally can't wait to play with Wimble, Crimble, Yimble Dimble, Rimble Zimble, and Sinble Pimble on their journey out of Bimble Stimble to find Stumble Bumble and defeat Kimble Quimble.
In response to the recent Catholic anime mascot, Lucy, the Protestants decided to catch up. The Baptist, Lutheran, and Methodist churches all came up with their own anime mascots. For the Baptists, we have John the Baptist Kun. For the Methodists, we have Thomas Bramwell, Welch Senpai, and finally, we obviously have Martin Luther Chan. Hopefully, no other religions fall for the anime craze.
Nintendo recently announced a brand new groundbreaking consumer monitoring program called Nintendo World. The new program will utilize several subspace satellites in order to monitor whether someone uses a Nintendo copyrighted property in everyday conversation. For every copyrighted word, the speaker will be taxed an amount proportional to the property's value. For instance, if I were to say something along the lines of Mario, Luigi, Bowser, Rainbow Road, Princess Peach, Emulator, Yoshi, I would be taxed approximately $19.21 for the word Mario being the most expensive at around $5. This program will ensure that Nintendo is able to offer the best services to its fans by charging them for talking about their favorite games. Wow, why hasn't anyone done this before?
In more local news, I recently got lunch with my ex-wife, and guys, I think things might really be looking up. If you've been following our stories, I'm sure that you've heard my numerous updates regarding my extremely passionate divorce and the following custody battle for my 2 children that I hate. While I managed to minimize time with my children to weekend visits, which is a huge improvement from every other week, time with my ex-wife has been consistently strained on account of hating my children and refusing to care for them. Lunch saw lots of small casual conversation, leading me to believe my wife saw our previous episode where I on air pleaded with her to give me one opportunity to speak to her. We have fun here. With any luck, I can be back in my own home with my wife before 2028.
Now for some hard truth, my fellow viewers. For starters, I want to emphasize that I, Wyatt Houston Simon, am not reading off the prompter for this. Why am I the one who always... And that everything I am saying is of my own sound mind and body. For starters, I personally believe that Metal Gear Solid is the worst developed franchise in the entirety of video game history, the entire video game industry, and that I've seen better story and character developments come out of my own butt. I also want to give a special shout out to MGS3, Yawn, and that I believe it's one of the worst video games to come out of Konami. Secondly, Devil May Cry, more like Devil May Mid, as Devil May Cry 5 added nothing of significance to the story and is just overall just filler for the rest of the story, which includes the build-up to one of my favorite video games of all time, Devil May Cry 2. Secondly, I think that Lupin III is a terrible anime name and that Lupin's character is incredibly flat and boring. However, an anime/manga that I genuinely think is perfect and might just be the next One Piece is Jujutsu Kaisen, as I have no quarrels with that anime, and it should be the standard that all anime/manga follow for future reference. And finally, I want to bring up that all of my stories are taken off the backs of writers from BuzzFeed and College Humor, and that I have tricked all of you, as I am secretly a worm.
And finally, I'm going to list words that I love the sound of. First, effervescent. Second, thermos. Third, Lithuania, good country. Fourth, volatile. Fifth, ether. Sixth, rogue. And lastly, annulled. Thank you. After the break, the cast play bowling.
And it's the worst kind of bowling. All systems go. We'll be right back.